So with this bearing wall gone and our new beam installed on the other side of the room, we can open up the space now. We have, you can see we have cut the concrete and ran the electrical for the island. We have re-drywall patched in all this side of this wall, resized the window, and open up this whole space. We're gonna finish the drywall and then put our the casing back on the window, and then we'll be ready for the cabinets to go in. So this window originally was twice the size. It went to, obviously twice the size, it went to about here. We extended the kitchen out this way more, wanted to be a little more grandiose. Cut down the size of the window, so that means we have drywall on this side and stucco patch on the other side, but it gives us the extra room we need for the kitchen. Something that was really important on this job was the dust barrier between the construction area and the living space. The client has a lung condition, so it was really, really important that we sealed this off really good. Now, normally, I always tell you, if you hire me, you'll know, dust barrier, it's plastic and tape, and most of the time we're having to go through the space, and with air conditioning, changing the pressure of the different parts of the house, dust is gonna get through. In this case though, we really had to cut it down, so we did 2 layers of dust barrier. You can see it's taped off crazy good all the way around, and it's been sucked in because of the pressure change, and it's held up. So we actually had the client stay out of the house while we kind of figured this out. Hi, I'm Jay with Classic Kitchens, etc., and welcome to our latest kitchen remodel. Let me show you around. We started by reconfiguring the kitchen and make this area a great room. We had a wall right here, which we thought was non-load bearing. Surprise, surprise, it turned out to be a load bearing wall. Luckily, the client had plans, and on the plans it showed this wall clearly marked as load bearing. We were able to change the bearing point of the wall because it's scissor trusses. So scissor trusses, you can shear up one side or the other side, because scissor trusses can go a long span without any supporting beams. Or this wall basically was holding up a portion of or helping hold up a portion of the roof. And we basically put it on the other side of the scissor truss. So now the beam is behind you there. And so that allowed us to take out this wall. This is where we relocated the beam. It ended up having to go in the skylight well, and we had to set it on top of a bearing wall. We actually had to move it in the location that it's at. We really couldn't put it anywhere else. And then we drywalled it and made it look like part of the well. It looks good. It looks pretty hidden. You still have all the light that you can get from the skylight. We were able to move that support. And now that we had this whole wall out, the whole room is open up. Great room, a true great room now, with the family room over to my right and the kitchen right here. We're able to put in a big island, where before we had a U-shaped kitchen. It was very kind of claustrophobic. It did have a little island in the middle, but it was small island and not a lot of space around all the sides. So we were able to blow all that out, open the whole space up. Before, when you walked in the front door, you couldn't see inside the kitchen. Now you can see all the way through. It's beautiful. You can actually see it right to the back of the house, and the house actually has a gorgeous view of the valley, so you can see all that now. Also, what we were able to do, like I said, add a big island with seating on one side, and we actually overhung the island on this side as well, so we have extra seating if we need it on this side as well. And then we extended the kitchen out into the dining room. So we originally had, like I said, a wall right here. So the kitchen stopped right here and the dining room started on the other side of the wall. And now we were able to extend the kitchen all the way into the dining space. You can see we still have a little dining space here. And we were able to extend the kitchen all the way to this window. This window was double the size than it is right now. So it stopped right here, and we were able to resize the window, shrink it down a little bit, give us a little bit bigger kitchen. And we utilized the space with another countertop and then a microwave cabinet. It gives you another space above it and then drawers below it. When we make an island, you always want to think about how many lights you want in the island. And you can see with bigger pendant, this is called a valance. This is about a 10-inch valance. 2 is a nice size. You could get away with 3 on this island if you had a smaller valance. I think it would all work out. But you can kind of see proportionally that the 2 10-inch valances look really nice in the space. On the range wall, we have a 30-inch range and a 30-inch hood. I pointed at the hood when I said range. 30-inch range, 30-inch hood. I like to leave gaps in between the hood and the cabinets. That actually is required by code, although the reasoning for it is debatable. Because when you have a microwave, the microwave is tucked inside cabinets and the cabinets touch both sides of the microwave, and that seems to pass code fine. So it's a little odd rule that, I like to follow it if I can, but if you don't have the space, I'm not recommending that you do anything not to code, but that was my 2 cents. Anyways, we have this Zephyr hood, which I like Zephyrs. Another thing about hoods is the CFMs. You don't really need anything more than 350, 450. Once you get into 500, 600, you're really getting into a commercial style hood. And I think 1,000 is really overkill. Most folks though, they tell me they don't take it out of the first speed. So that's on a 350, 400, 450. So something to help you out there. Chimney style hoods I love them. They do take cabinet space because you can't have anything right here, of course, but it's pretty useless space when you think about it. If you did a under the cabinet hood and you had cabinets here, you would still need your ductwork, which takes up a significant portion of the cabinet. But you can still do it for cookbooks and things like that. But in this situation, we had the space. We got a lot of extra space in this kitchen. We gained a lot of extra space in this kitchen with the new design. And so we were able to just, do something fancy that looks good. And we have a chimney extension that goes all the way to the ceiling that had to be custom cut for the vaulted ceiling. So that's something you want to think about too. If you have a vaulted ceiling, that's not going to come with that cut. You're going to have to get it cut custom. We got pantry with rollouts, which I love. Very functional to have the rollouts. They increase the size, the usable space of storage. As you can see, the whole thing rolls out and you can reach to the back. You could put tall stuff in. These are actually adjustable as well. So they're really easy to set up however you'd like. And if you have a lot of really small, short things, you can actually add more rollouts to this setup here. So you could increase the amount of space you have. Upper cabinets wouldn't come with rollouts. That would be weird, right? It would be going over your head. You wouldn't be able to see it. So these just come with stacked shelves. Great for extra things, or also you could remove this shelf and you could put in cookie sheet tray dividers and you could use that as a cookie sheet cabinet. That's a good spot for that. Over the cabinet, refrigerator, which is also just good for more seasonal storage. It's a little bit hard for folks to get up there. I mean, I'm 6'2" and it's hard for me to get up here. So it's more better for seasonal storage or things you don't need to grab every day. And then we have our microwave cabinet on the end. Of course, missing a trim kit, you can see that. Back-ordered appliances are crazy right now. So, we're all waiting for appliances these days. And then we have another cabinet above there. You can get a shelf in there if you want. It's kind of useless though. Again, it'd be for more larger seasonal things would be best for that. And then we have a 3-bank drawer down here. The backsplash is really cool. I love the color combinations that we used on this project. We did waterproof laminate, which is very popular nowadays, in a warm tone color. I'm a huge fan of warm tone colors, especially mixing it with cool tone colors for the walls. White cabinets are the most popular cabinets. White ranks around 67% of the cabinets color selected, and that's been happening since the 50s. So it's a great choice to remodel your home with white cabinets because it is the most popular and therefore the most resellable if you ever want to sell your place or rent it out. Also, what I like about white cabinets is it gives it a nice, crisp, fresh, open feel. The downside to white cabinets is that if you have cool tone floors, it's going to be really, really sterile feeling. So to get that kind of warmth, homey feel, it's really great to have a warm tone floor. So now we have your crisp, colors on your walls and you have your warm tones on your floors. They go together very, very well. Let me talk about the aesthetics a little bit of the kitchen and the finished materials we use. Countertops, we did a quartz countertops. Watch my video on quartz countertops versus granite if you want to know the difference between quartz and granite. Also, there's another product called quartzite that is also a natural stone. These are all things you should learn about if you're doing a kitchen remodel. You want to make sure that you know your options and what the pros and cons of each of those options are. For this project, we selected quartz. Very, very popular, easy to take care of. You don't have to seal it, hard to stain because it's non-porous. It's antimicrobial by its nature because it is non-porous. So it's very easy, very low maintenance, and it does come in just about any color you can want because it is a man-made product. It's a marbly look, a white marble look, very popular when I would do like Newport Beach projects and they would want white marble on their countertops. And I was like, oh man, this looks so beautiful. And then 2 years later, they call me back and go, Jay, come back out, replace the white marble countertops because they're all scratched to hell. But they have the money to do that. You know, regular folks like me and you, we have to say, this is what we want for the next 30 years. So what's nice about the new quartz product is that it is like white marble. You can see right now, this is a beautiful veiny type of marble. It's almost like a perfect cut of stone, you know, because like I said, it is man-made, so they can make it perfect, or look like the most perfect type of stone. So it's got some thin veins in it, it's got some thick veins, it has grays in it, it has some golds in it, and I think the grays and golds are important to make it look like a Calcutta or a Statuario, Bianco Venetino, any of those really like high-end white marbly stones. This is gonna mimic really well. This one is called Bertoli from Arizona Tile. Did I get that right? Yay! The backsplash we did out of marble. It's actually a mosaic made up of marble. Two different types of marble. There's a white marble in here called Thassos, and then there's a darker marble, which I don't know what it is. I'm stumped. It looks almost like a Sahara gold, but it's more beigey. But it definitely has the pattern of a Sahara gold. But it's definitely a marble. And there you go. That's as good as I can get on that one. Mixed with a crackle finish ceramic tile. These crackle finish tiles are really cool. You don't really see the crackle until you get up close to them. So it's one of those kind of, you know, surprise treats that you get when you see the kitchen and you go, wow, this looks really nice. And then when you see it closer, you go, oh my God, the detail on this is even nicer up close. So another design situation that you get into when you have a vaulted ceiling and you don't have your cabinets go all the way to the ceiling, which is really hard to do if you have a vaulted ceiling, because if the cabinets are at an angle, it's gonna look super weird. So you wanna just stop it at the corner, at their 8-foot corner right there, and then you're just gonna have a shelf that grows and grows as you go along the cabinets. It's pretty much the only way I've seen it done that looks right. I've done it where you go to the ceiling and then you have different sized doors and then it comes to nothing, and it's a hot mess. So this is the best way to do it. But you do have a question on where do you stop the splash, right? Do you stop it at the hood or do you take it all the way to the ceiling? Well, take it all the way to the ceiling, then visually, you're really gonna wanna go above the cabinets, and then you get into a whole nother situation. If we had a wall on the end that stopped, had a natural breaking point for the backsplash, I probably would have recommended going above the cooktop and taking it all the way to the ceiling. But since we didn't have a natural breaking point, I don't wanna tile the whole side of the house, right? So we stopped it at the bottom of the hood. So we have a Super Susan in the corner. I don't just like to have a regular Lazy Susan. I like to upgrade to the Super Susan, which gives you all wood interior spinners. You know, these things, the Lazy Susan, they come on little spinners and they roll around like so. When you upgrade to a Super Susan, that's what the manufacturer calls it. I don't know if every manufacturer calls it that. They have like ball bearings on the bottom, so they're a lot heavier duty unit. They can hold more weight, and then they're made out of wood, so they can take a lot more beating. You know, the main thing for cabinetry is not as important for your upper cabinets or even your base cabinet boxes to be made out of plywood. I know everybody really loves plywood, and they think that particle board is not a good product. But the technology that we have nowadays, I mean, you can get a furniture grade particle board. Depending on how the cabinet's built, these cabinets are all doweled and glued together. So they are very strong put together. You know, these aren't flat packed cabinets, if I can talk. So, like something you'd get at IKEA or some kind of Chinese flat pack cabinets, which is not gonna have a furniture grade particle board, and it's not gonna be doweled and glued together. So it's gonna be put together with those anchor screws that you latch in and turn to tighten them up. So that's a whole different situation than what you have here. But on your drawers and on the interiors, you do want those to be out of solid wood or plywood or something that's gonna have some structural strength to it, because that's what's really gonna take the beating as far as from your appliances and your silverware, flatware, all that stuff. Oh, always too, when you open up, when you have a 2-door Super Susan, make sure you open up this door first and then open up this door first. It's a 2-door system. And then same thing, when you close it, you wanna go in reverse. You wanna make sure you close that first door there and then close that second door there. If you have kids, make sure to teach them how to do it, because if they don't, you can clack the door on the drawer next to it and you start chipping things and wearing things out prematurely. I like to use the double trash pull. So this one has recycle and trash. Again, just another note, if you're gonna use the trash on the front, don't push it down with it fully extended. You can pop the whole system right out of the cabinet. It's not meant for that. You wanna make sure you put it in part way and then you can push it down to your heart's content, or just take it out. That's another option. Anywho, so I like these in a centrally located spot. That's where I normally like to design it. So as you can see, where I got it right here is the perfect spot. You're in the island, you're doing something. You turn around, it's right there. You're at the sink, you're doing something, you need trash, it's right here. You're at the stove, same thing. You open up a can, you put it in there, boom, you can put it right in the trash can. Very nice, centrally located position. Now we're gonna switch to talking about aesthetics again. So you have an apron front sink, has a totally different look. This is a Kohler Whitehaven, which is my favorite because it has a self-finishing part on the side here. You have to cut the cabinets for these apron front sinks. A lot of the sink manufacturers, they'll just make them square. They're pretty hard to install and look nice. But if you have this one, you can make your cut. Doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it should still be nice, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then when you slide this in, it has a little flange here that covers the cut. So then everything looks perfect. Because this is a factory made, obviously. So in a factory, you're gonna be able to make a lot better finish than you would in the field, right? So Kohler Whitehaven, they did a good job and I recommend them. And then we have our faucet here, stainless steel, goes with the whole motif of the kitchen, looks beautiful. And then we have our push button garbage disposal. This is air actuated, so there is no power going to this switch, so you don't have to worry about it getting wet. This turns on the garbage disposal. It's a lot nicer than having it on the wall. I think it was over here before or over there, which then, you gotta track all that stuff all over the place, and who wants that? After the sink, we have an upper cabinet in the middle. Again, we just had some extra space here, and so we decided to put a little display cabinet in here. This has, as you can see, clear glass, so this is for display. If you want to have a little bit extra design feature in your kitchen, you want to add some glass, you're not as clean as these folks, then you might want to do like a frosted glass or a reeded glass or something that doesn't show exactly what's in the cabinets. After that, we have, or under that, I should say, we got the dishwasher, again, next to the sink. You got to do that, right? And then we have a 3 bank of drawers, and then 2 more 3 bank of drawers. Again, these big drawers I love over doors with rollouts or anything like that because they're going to be a lot easier to manage. If you have doors with rollouts, you got to open the doors and then you got to do the rollout, where this is just that. Just open it up, put what you want in, take what you want out, close it, and you're done. And the last design detail that I want to talk about is the backsplash over the windows. So I like that this wall, again, has some nice finishing points. On the side where the slider is, we just had to do a little trim over there, and then it dies into the cabinets over here, and the wall in the corner underneath the cabinets there. I wanted to put the mosaic all around the windows. It adds a really great aesthetic to the kitchen, versus if it just ended right here. Even if you can see, it's just a little strip around the sides of these, because I wanted to make this cabinet as big as possible. So I had just a little tiny strip that goes around it, and it's only 1 square foot on the top. So you're not talking a whole lot more material or a whole lot more labor, but I mean, it really adds a whole really cool look to it. Also, with opening up this room to the entryway, this back wall becomes the focal point of this whole space. And so now when you walk in the front door, I mean, this whole wall just hits you. I mean, you have the island, the whole layers. I mean, the floor, the island, the backsplash, everything is layered in so perfectly. For the island, we added banks of drawers on one side. The other side is an overhang meant for seating. This is why this kitchen got a lot more storage space because we added an island where there was just a small island. We added a big island. So again, big drawers, pots, pans, strainers, Tupperware, all that good stuff. We went with an accented cabinet color. I was just about to order the cabinets and the client calls me and goes, hey, you know what? Can we change the island to a different color? And I'm thinking, yeah, I got all their stuff out. I'm like, yeah, that'd actually be pretty cool. So we changed the island to this gray color called ash from the cabinet manufacturer, Canyon Creek. But it's basically a light gray. And you know, there's no such thing as a true gray. All grays either have a little bit of green, beige, rose color type color, purpley, blue. And this is kind of the greenish gray color. Definitely contrast from the countertop in a really cool way. And then of course I upgraded the baseboard from a scribe to this baseboard. So this is a cabinet grade finish baseboard on this. And on the other side, we went with the waterfall edge. You know, to buy a whole slab, which slabs come in like 5 foot tall by 10 foot long pieces, so they're huge. For this little, 3x3 piece would be, I think, probably a waste unless you really, really want that aesthetic in your kitchen or have extra use for that big piece because you'll only be cutting just a little corner out of it. But in this situation, we actually had this leftover piece. So it was perfect to say, let's use it as the waterfall edge. Something that was added at the very end of the project, it wasn't at the very end actually. It was in the middle. We were doing the kitchen and I came over here, I was looking at everything and we're like, wow, it's looking really good. And we were like, wow, the fireplace looks kind of out of place because it's right across from the kitchen. We tore out the existing fireplace, built this shadow box mantle, tiled top and bottom with a 12x24 porcelain tile. That's a commercially rated porcelain tile. And then the floor goes right up to it. I mean, again, just another aesthetic for the house. It ties in beautifully with the kitchen. I'm just really happy the way everything turned out. Something else about this shadow box mantle. A shadow box just basically means that it's hollow on the inside. So, this is made out of plywood and then just stained a certain color. We like pine, stains up really well, or maple too, stains up well. This I think is probably maple, so basically hollow on the inside, you do a ledger and then you hang it on the ledger and there you go. And the last little design feature, which is actually a safety feature as well. We have a step here, you can see, and this was always a trip hazard, especially if the floor is the same color. They had a couch here to kind of block people from falling in there for years. And so we wanted to give them something a little bit better. The client was wondering if they could do a railing. So we got some pictures from them and fabbed this railing, powder coated it white. And you can see that it works really well, fits the space really well, adds a really cool design element as well as a real good safety element. Finally, the floor. I think I've mentioned this in other parts of the video, but the floor is a waterproof laminate. Waterproof laminate's a great product to use, but you don't want to use it if you have direct sunlight, right? Normally it has to be floor level direct sunlight. So like a window that's above a countertop, if that's getting on the floor, that's normally not a problem, but it's typically at a door, like a patio door where there is direct sunlight coming in on the floor. That can warp the floor. That being said, the waterproof laminate is pretty indestructible other than direct sunlight. So you got a floor that you can get wet, it's easy to mop, it's got tight joints so you don't have to worry about, like with tile, getting dirt and stuff in the grout joints. It's a pretty seamless floor. And this color is great. As you can see, the warm tones on the floor go great with the cool tone of the cabinetry and the countertops. And that wraps up our latest kitchen remodel. So hope you got some great ideas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. this retaining wall gone. This was retaining wall. Hello. With this, start over. 3, 2, 1, go. With this retaining wall, oh my God, I just said retaining wall again. It's very warm. And I gotta go in my mouth. All right, there you go. Can you hear me? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I feel linty. Is it? Can you see the lint? I don't think it's that. I don't think you can see that much. We'll just upload this in 360. You have your Christmas on the walls and you have your warmth on the floor. Everything blends together really, really well. Your walls are Christmas. It is Christmas. It's December. Okay. I don't know what I was saying. The walls. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. Take number 2. And so you, where was I going with this? Man-made product, white colors are very popular with, that's right, you can laugh. I'm recording. Unless you put it in the video. We always have the, and now this. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, you wanna go on this wall? I think I've babbled enough about that wall. All right, so let's start with under cabinet sink. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Also because the plumbing, gets used for that as well. Question in the back row. Back to the trash can. Back to the right side of the sink, real quick. I like the, oh man, that was such a great spiel that I had on the last one. How am I gonna duplicate that? All right, I had, we lost some audio, okay? And it was good audio. I like to put your trash and recycle. I like the 2, the trash and recycle. All right, moving along to the back wall. We got the, I don't know why I sounded like one of those guys that do the little racing announcers, And you got so-and-so coming around the corner. All right, in this case, we went with the clear glass so we could display all the fancy stuff that we have here. This is our fine china for when folks like me come over to eat, then you can lay them out and impress me. Impress your friends with your beautiful flatware. Dishware? Flatware? Flatware is the forks and knives, right? What is this called? Dinnerware. Yes. With your fancy dinnerware, impress your friends and have it displayed so it looks cool too. This one is called Bertolli from Arizona Tile. Did I get that right? Yay! What? Now keep that in. You can actually see it right to the back of the house, and the house actually has a gorgeous view of the valley, so you can see all that now. The sink overlooks the view, and I can show you that later. Great view of the valley. I think I've said that now twice, and I'll probably say it 2 more times before this video's done, because I really like the view. And the view, did I talk about the view? The view, so cool.